Hi guys, it's Burb speaking, and welcome to our official The Burbness YouTube channel. And I've got for you kind of like a late night message video. So make sure you stay tuned to hear whether or not Bitcoin is about to die and dive into the depths of the bear market, or we are still in the bulls. Make sure you stay tuned, stay subscribed, and let's go. Bitcoin sinks to the 2-week low as China intensifies crypto mining crackdown. That is exactly kind of like what initiated the downside, kind of like just decline for Bitcoin for about 10%. Okay, 10% decline coming from the big announcement, okay, from China side. And tell me if that is new. Okay, tell me about it. Tell me if this is new. China has banned and unbanned subsequently Bitcoin, hundreds of times, subsequently literally banning them right after unbanning, okay, saying that it is good, praising it, then literally dumping and saying that it is bad, okay, and so on and so forth. I'm so bored of that. And while this is a news-driven kind of like a reaction that you could see on the markets, okay, you can tell that there was definitely some downside reaction with regards to the early this kind of like first half of the day, if you will. Okay, well, as a matter of fact, we're still in one and the same ugly, exhausting, irritating, dull, boring range. Okay, between the low extreme of $30,000 and high extreme of $42,000. Okay, which was subsequently and successfully, continuously kind of like rejected around the range highs. Okay, so we are, well, in the territory which is neither bullish nor bearish, is just neutral. Okay, and it's neutral because that's what the pattern means. That's what the chart pattern means. And in this very context, again, as any other chart pattern, especially the range, the rectangle, if you will, okay, the red training band, training range, well, the only factual trend that starts existing, okay, is after the successful breakout retest towards the upside for the uptrend, or the breakdown retest, okay, towards the downside. So price action wise, if you go off, turn off all of the indicators, all of the trading systems, and just leave the bear price action, bear candlesticks, then you could tell, okay, that Bitcoin is not really bearish until you see a factual breakdown retest, which is the bottom scenario, okay, or bullish, okay, well, only with the upside breakout retest, okay. So it is neutral territory. It is ugly neutral territory, similarly to what this was, an ugly neutral territory. So this is a range, dump, and another range, okay, consolidation after the breakdown. And this kind of like just makes it and places it still for Bitcoin to hover, right around the support of $30,000, still, just being there somewhere between 50 and 55% of the total drawdown from the peak to the bottom. Okay, so it is at heavy discount. It is, it is out of question for sure. Okay, and if we go towards the high time frames, okay, then you're going to discover that we are, well, kind of like starting to remind, and to be similar for Bitcoin's price action for what you saw in 2019, kind of like second half of 2019, for the 6 months time. This, well, what many people call the bear market, but it factually was not a bear market. I can remember infinite amount attacking me for being bullish for the entire time here, with regards to well, counter trading the major sentiment. Okay, the majority sentiment, of course, was extremely bearish. They would say right here and right, especially at the bottoms of market crash for COVID, March 2020, you could hear that the bull market has ended. Okay, that the bull market ended, that Bitcoin was dead, that this time was different, that this was the bear market, that we would never see new all-time highs for Bitcoin. And guess what? They were wrong. Okay, and in my opinion, it is kind of like a similar case right now. Okay, I could see people arguing with me all day long, okay, 24/7, that I'm an idiot for selling, this is still the bull market. People getting extremely upset and literally emotional about, dealing with anything that has a bull picture or word in it. Okay, they're extremely, well, they're extremely over complacent for on the bearish side after losing quite a lot of money, most likely. But then, okay, if you apply the kind of like a long-term wave count for the bull market, started with the wave kind of like number 1, okay, in the December's reversal to the December 2018 reversal. Then it marked that kind of like a long-term secondary corrective wave, number 2. Then it flashed starting off the March 2020, the third, usually the longest wave, okay? And we are talking about a corrective wave right now, okay, which makes it a wave number 4, okay? Wave number 3, the longest one. So what is missing based on the Elliott wave theory is kind of like the fifth upside, kind of like a, not even a pullback, but the fifth impulse wave, okay? Impulse wave, which would be the final wave. So whatever happens in here, okay, if it stays, over $30,000, if it goes below, which is also potential fake out scenario, that you would see, let's say for Head and Shoulders. This, by the way, of course, is a Head and Shoulders, okay? It's a left shoulder. This head of this Head and Shoulder pattern is also consisting of Head and Shoulders pattern itself. So it is a fractal, okay? And right shoulder, you can tell, okay, and Head and Shoulders, as a matter of fact, you can tell that in a lot of books, a lot of trading kind of like experience, that many people would short Head and Shoulders before it even forms, before it completes and it's finished, for a price action. Then you could see people shorting the breakdown. But what happens often, okay, is that this breakdown, especially on undervalued assets, may happen to be a fake out, the major fake out, which would be followed, okay, by an upside recovery right after reclaiming the support in case of a bullishness for the environment, okay? So in general, well, you could tell that we are the support of 50-week moving average, which is this orange curve. Okay, this is 200-week moving average, which historically has always been of the bottom for the major reversal. So if the word collapses, if the word where the third collapse like bursts out and breaks out, okay, and the worst things, just come out of hell to actually crash the entire global markets, not only Bitcoin, but entire global markets, then Bitcoin would find support at this average, okay, 200-week average around $14,000. But this is like the most extreme scenario that the world collapses usually as a whole. But until that happens, or unless that happens, okay, we are right now tapping into the support of 50-week moving average, which is a very strong support. Additionally, that it aligns perfectly well with the range lows of $30,000. Okay, so well, long story short, we are the support. We are the support. We are at the Head and Shoulders, which usually, like those biggest Head and Shoulders pattern, kind of like they rarely ever work because they are too obvious. Again, when the patterns are too obvious, the fake outs happen. Like I said, when everybody shorts something that is not even complete, the fake outs happen too often. Okay, so it may happen that this kind of like fake out towards $28,000, perhaps turns major wave number 5. Okay, if you will. What other indicators tell you? Okay, the NUPL, which is my favorite top reversal kind of like indicator for the Bitcoin, you could tell that we never really visited the area of the extreme greed over 0.75 ratio, which classifies the end of the bull market, okay, to be factual. It happened in here, it happened in here, in all major reversals, okay, for the Bitcoin ever in the history, okay. The bear market reversals, it always went over 0.75 for the ratio, okay. This time it did not happen, which makes me believe that it kind of like is similar to what we saw in this territory, in this range, okay, to still have this kind of like a final wave towards the upside, which would make us kind of like referring to 2015, 2017 bull market, place us somewhere over here, okay, if we take account of this entire kind of like a journey towards the upside. I do not believe that the bull market is over. Okay, things are not looking good. Of course, Bitcoin is in a lot of trouble, but I don't believe that the bull market is over. For the bear indicator, which is a free indicator, okay, you would have this zone, okay, of 2018 reversal when Bitcoin was so oversold on the weekly time frame, the major time frame. Then, okay, this entire kind of like time that you could see, well, ending with the market crash and COVID. Okay, this was the second time that the Bitcoin was so oversold, and we are for the third time, well, here right now watching Bitcoin that's been so oversold on the weekly time frame, complete reset. Okay, even if it had to do much with bears, okay, then it's pretty much like already almost over apparently, just gauging at the bear indicator at least. Okay, so Well, it is unprecedented situation that you would see so much fear, okay, going on for the past month, 20 May, 23rd May, okay, till now. You could see extremely bearish sentiment. Okay, this is fear and greed index. People are extremely scared and fear. The sentiment is low. Okay, so to wrap up, kind of like give you an idea, you could expect a fake out scenario, for the Head and Shoulders, which I kind of like explained over here. Quarter three is usually kind of like neutral, or should I say sideways. So we could expect something like this, some chop, okay, some chop bigger range, but quarter four should be bullish in my opinion. Then if things go ugly, $22,000-$23,000 kind of like should create a decent support area for the long-term investors. Okay, that's where I'll be buying for sure. If I yeah, so guys, I really want to remind you that if you're not subscribed to this very channel, make sure you subscribe and stay tuned. Put your bells on. Okay, there are going to be so many daily uploads coming in the next days, in the next weeks, and the next months, because this is a brand new YouTube series that we launched. Okay, we are really hungry for YouTube, so make sure you're part of our community. And I refuse to believe that the bull market is over. I still going to expect wave number 5 to kind of like head right into the $90,000-$120,000 later this year. No matter you believe it or not, I rarely ever have been wrong about the major reversals. I can be wrong about what's going to happen in the next minutes, in the next hour, next days, but rarely ever I've been wrong about Bitcoin's history for the major reversals. Okay, so make what you want out of that. And if you are not members to the Burb Nest, okay, go to theburbnest.com, go sign up free, put your email address, put your first name, and you're going to get 7 days free. Make sure, guys, you're part of the Burb Nest, one of the largest and the most reputable trade group ever since 2017. We've been through the bulls, we've been through the bears. We were born and strengthened in the bear market. Okay, nothing stops us. Let's go, and guys, make sure you're part of our strong community. And until then, make sure you leave your thumbs up, leave some comments if you want me to answer some of your questions, and I'll be right there. And guys, that's all for today. Stay safe. God bless you. Bye-bye.